All right, Shalom. First and foremost, as always, I want to give all the praise, all the honor, and all the glory to YAHAWAH, Ba'Hashem YAHWEH, Ba'Hashem HaRakakodash. And of course, as always, double honors to our apostles and our elders that rule well at Great Millstone. Salutations to all you sincere Akim that are preaching this word in all truth and sincerity. And of course, Shalom to you sisters out there, all right, the Aquathium that believe in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, the children, and you men that are not necessarily prophets, but believe as well in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. So this is Jeremiah 49 and verse 12. For thus saith Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken. And we drink of that cup, okay? Here it is, we went into captivity. Here it is, time and time again. As the scriptures say, the heathen forwarded the affliction. Okay, they added on to our bonds. It also says that the dogs came, and licked the sores. But when you got a cut, a wound, and something licks it, something mangy, dirty, it can infect the wound. It causes it to sting. Okay, it's not balm. It doesn't help the healing. So these damn heathen, okay, it's like we're all wounded and they're coming and they're licking our wounds. Nobody is for us. Okay, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. The true Hebrew Israelites. The only one that's for us is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Okay, everybody else is against us, starting with Esau, the so-called white man. But we drank of that cup. Okay, here it is. We got the whole end of the shitty stick. All right. Time and time again, we were put into captivity. And here it is, now that we've woken up to who we are, we still catch hell. Because of these devils, man. We're still in captivity. Okay? So one more again, it says, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken. And art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? Yeah, because these devils, they're sitting at the top right now. They rule the world. Okay, they own all the banks, everything. Okay. And their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever. They feel like nobody can take them out of power. They feel like they're going to rule for all eternity. Okay. They got their head in the clouds. They don't think nobody can bring them down. Okay. It says, thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. So these heathen, starting with Esau, the so-called white man, okay, they're going to drink of that cup, man. They're going to go into slavery. They're going to understand what it feels like to fucking hurt, all right? Because us as a people, we're fucking hurt, okay? You could have an Israelite that makes 6 figures, okay? Or as they say, 6 figures? Jake's that got millions of dollars. Okay, but they ain't fucking happy. They're still catching all kinds of hell. As they say, more money, more problems. That's how it is for you Israelites, man. Okay. You got woman problems, you got children problems. Okay. Shit, we got Edomite problems. We got heathen problems, man. They're always stalking us, messing with our livelihood, man. Okay, COINTELPRO, them motherfuckers is watching. They're listening to everything we do. But there's going to come a time where Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai is going to open up the fucking floodgates on these devils, man. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai going to give the elect spiritual power to really do some fucking damage out here, man. Okay, as the scriptures say, you know, that is the patience, okay? That is the expectation of the righteous, man. Okay? The patience and the faith of the saints, man. Okay? You devils are gonna go into captivity, man. You fucking Rothschilds, man, you're going into captivity, man. Okay? All the gold and silver that you've done stole, that you harnessed and reaped for yourselves through wickedness, that's sitting in vaults somewhere. Okay? We gonna get that back, man. You gonna cough that shit up. We gonna put our fucking hands down your throat and snatch up everything you stole from us, man. Excuse my French, but you know, oppression maketh the wise man mad. Okay? The scriptures say, be angry and sin not. Alright, we ain't gonna go out of pocket and do anything. YAHAWAH Shai gonna avenge us, man. And whoever he gives that spiritual power to on this side, they gonna utilize it according to YAHAWAH Shai's will. And you fucking devils have the accounts of how YAHAWAH Shai gets down. Okay? It says, for I have sworn myself, saith YAHAWAH Shai, that Basra shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be perpetual wastes. Okay? In Basra, you know, we'll look it up real quick. You see right here, it says Basra, Mount Seir, Edom, Petra. Okay. Now let's see what the Strong's says right here in where we were at in Jeremiah. So we go down to Basra, and the word there is Batazaria, and it says sheepfold fortress, a town in Edom. Okay, so it was a stronghold, a fortress in Edom. Okay, so let's go back. It says, for I have sworn by myself, saith YAHAWAH Shai, that Basra shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be perpetual waste. Now, you know, you going into Basra, you know, ancient Basra, the map, okay, you look at it, and it's already that way. But that isn't referring to that ancient place. It's referring to now. So it says, that Basra shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be perpetual waste. I have heard a rumor from YAHAWAH Shai, and an ambassador is sent unto the heathen, saying, gather ye together, and come against her, and rise up to the battle. For lo, I will make thee small among the heathen, and despised among men. And that's how they are. Okay, starting with Amalek, you know, the chief house of Esau, Edom, so-called Jews, who are imposters. You know, they're small, okay, insignificant, and also, you know, everybody hates them, man. Says it, and despised among men. Now, the elder, Yashawamba, he had posted a video, and I'm gonna play parts of it. Actually, I'll play the whole thing. Alright, this is that video. It's titled Israel's largest wildfire. What fanned apocalyptic blaze? What's behind deadly smoke ashes? Watch. It's gonna explain to you what's causing it. And it's so beautiful, man. You know, YAHAWAH, he is the ultimate, strategist. 1948, Balfour Declaration, when they claimed the land for themselves after World War II, they actually stole the land. And they planted trees since 1948. And now we're in 2025. Those trees they planted are what's causing the wildfires. The Lord got you devils in a trick bag, man. The Lord got you devils, man. It's only a matter of time. You know, as the scripture says, Esau's going to build, but the Lord is going to throw it all down. See that? So there you have it, They thought what would be good for the land backfired on them, man. So verse 16 says, thy terribleness had deceived thee. And what makes them terrible is, the blessing that they have, their wisdom is, the wisdom of, violence, destruction, witchcraft, everything abominable. So what they thought, hey, they were going to bring trees, and then years down the road, them trees will be beneficial. It actually backfired on them. Those trees are actually devastational to that area. If you read it, it said that those trees, the needles on those trees were oily, and with that immense heat caused, them to light on fire. It was like pretty much those trees were made of gasoline, is what it was saying. It was made of a type of fuel. So thy terribleness hath deceived thee. Esau is being deceived. Even though he has all this great power and knowledge, he's deceived. He's gonna lose. Okay? They're gonna lose. It says, and the pride of thine heart, O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, that holdest the height of the hill, though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle, I will bring thee down from thence, saith YAHAWAH Shem Yahushai. So you remember how I mentioned, they got their head in the clouds. They think, hey, nobody's ever going to bring them down, that they got the greatest military. Okay, he's done. Okay, it's only a matter of time, man. It's only, YAHAWAH Ratazah, YAHAWAH Ratazah within the next year or two, man. But, yeah, nevertheless, as the scriptures say, in your patience possess your soul. So we in it for the long haul, man. Okay, we in it till the wheels fall off. This fat bitch's fucking car, which, the fat bitch is, of course, Babylon, America. Says, I will bring thee down from thence, saith YAHAWAH Shem Yahushai. And it's well known that ever since they went into space, so-called, went to the moon, which they really didn't go into the moon, land on the moon. But ever since they've been shooting rockets into space, they've been falling. Jake came up in the 70s, the whole disco era. You seen Judah, Ephraim getting down, Issachar. And then now it's a Jakeover, The chains are off us. We're no longer in that hardcore bondage. Now it's all spiritual, but you know what? We all gonna get the elect, of course, 1/3 is gonna get freed up, spiritually and physically. We're being physically free, spiritually freed right now. Soon it's gonna be physical. Verse 17, also Edom shall be a desolation. Every one that goeth by it shall be astonished, and shall hiss at all the plagues thereof. Now this is, going into, their system, their countries that they're ruling right now. And America is, it's going to get nuked to hell and back. Okay, it's going to be a complete desolation. The land of Israel is going to get bombed to shit too. But you know what? We're going to land there. We're going to go there and clean it up and reclaim it. It says, as in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah, and the neighbor cities thereof, saith YAHAWAH Shem Yahushai. Remember what happened to Sodom and Gomorrah, fire and brimstone. Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed by fire and brimstone. It says, no man shall abide there, neither shall a son of man dwell on it. And if you are familiar with, Genesis 17, 18, okay, going into Sodom and Gomorrah and the destruction, at one time, that body of water, I'll just Google it real quick, but that body of water, which is now known as the Dead Sea, at one time had life in it. But when the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof, that became the Dead Sea. Nothing lives there. Nothing is in those waters. Maybe some bacteria, but as far as fish and whatnot, no, there's no fish in there. It says, yeah, that was pretty much the point. But let me go to that body of water. So it says the Dead Sea is called dead due to its extremely high salt concentration, which prevents most macroscopic life, like fish and plants, from surviving in it. Now remember Lot's wife, she was turned into a pillar of salt. So that was all, the Lord's doing. Dehydrated that place, judged it. Okay. Now I was trying to see what the name was called before it was called that. Mount Sodom. Okay. Look at that. It says Israel showing the so-called Lot's wife pillar. There it is. It's supposed to be Lot's wife. So yeah. The Lord, he's gonna destroy Esau, Edom, and all his cities, man, his countries that he rules in. So you get the point, man. Okay, the Lord, he is visiting this devil, and real soon the Lord is going to take him completely out of the way and set up one that is profitable, which is the elect, all right? The 1/3. 2/3 of our people are going to die, but, they're going to come back to the loins of the elect. So with that, all praises, honor, and glory to YAHAWAH, Ba'Hashem, Yahawashi, Ba'Hashem, Harakakodash. And of course, as always, double honors to our apostles and our elders that rule well at Great Millstone. Until next time, Shalom.